Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, really deep, into Exodus chapter 11.
Exodus 11.
You got it. This is a big one. We've been following the Israelites, their journey, the whole Egypt situation, and things are getting, well, pretty intense. It's all coming to a head here in chapter 11.
It really is a pivotal moment, yeah. All the tension, all the plagues, it's all been building up to this.
Exactly. So we've seen the plagues, right? Each one bigger, each one showing just how powerful, how awesome God is.
Right.
But this final plague, the one we see in chapter 11, this one's different.
Yeah, this is the death of the firstborn. And it's not just about physical devastation. This one cuts deep to the very heart of Egyptian society, their beliefs, their afterlife, everything.
Okay, so you've spent a lot of time with Exodus, with the plagues. What makes this one, the death of the firstborn, so different? What makes it hit the Egyptians so hard, not just physically, but like you said, emotionally, spiritually?
Well, you have to understand, in ancient Egypt, the firstborn son, he wasn't just an heir. He was like the key to the whole family's afterlife.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. He performed the rituals, carried on the family name, and most importantly, he took care of his parents' spirits in the afterlife.
So, like, without him?
It's oblivion, basically. The Egyptians believed that without a proper burial and the right rituals, their souls were just lost, wandering forever.
So this plague, wiping out every firstborn, that's...
Total societal panic. It's not just death, it's the fear of spiritual annihilation for the entire nation.
I can't even imagine that level of grief, terror.
Yeah.
And the chapter, it really goes into the details of God's command to Moses. It's not just, hey, the firstborn will die. It's the timing, midnight. It's the fact that it hits every house, even the livestock. It's inescapable.
Exactly. And amidst all that, there's this one detail, almost an aside, that I find fascinating. Not a dog will bark at any person or animal among the Israelites.
I don't remember that.
It's easy to miss. But back then, dogs were often seen as, sensitive to the supernatural, especially death.
Okay, so there's silence.
It shows the stark boundary between the Israelites and the Egyptians. Even in this chaos, God's protecting his people, setting them apart.
That is fascinating, yeah. So even though they're in the same physical space, it's like two different realities playing out.
Exactly. For the Egyptians, it's horror, the world falling apart. But for the Israelites, it's almost anticipation. They're on the edge of freedom, protected by a power that even death can't touch.
And then there's this sudden change in the Egyptians. One minute they're resisting Moses, the next they're basically showering the Israelites with gold and silver. What's going on there?
It's really interesting psychologically. I think it's probably a mix of things. Guilt, maybe, for all those years of enslavement. Terror, definitely. Seeing the power of this God they've been defying.
Yeah.
And maybe even a desperate attempt to appease him. They see this targeted, devastating plague. It shatters their whole worldview. So maybe giving away their wealth, it's a way to cleanse themselves, distance themselves from this wrath they've unleashed.
That makes sense. It's such a contrast to Pharaoh, though, right? He's still digging at his heels. Even after all this, his heart is hardened. And you even see Moses getting angry, leaving Pharaoh hot with anger. It's a human moment for Moses. He's pleaded, he's argued, and nothing.
It shows that he's not just some detached messenger. He's invested. He cares about his people. And carrying the weight of their suffering, that takes a toll.
Absolutely. And speaking of Pharaoh, this chapter mentions God hardening his heart. And that's a tough one, theologically speaking. It's been debated for centuries.
Yeah. It makes you think about free will versus divine intervention.
Right, exactly.
Some scholars say it emphasizes God's sovereignty, his ability to influence even the most stubborn person. Others say it's more about Pharaoh's own choices, that every time he refuses, he hardens his own heart a little more.
So it's not just about making choices, it's about how those choices change us.
Exactly. Free will isn't just about the act, it's about the consequences.
So zooming out a bit, Exodus 11 isn't just about one plague. It's the culmination of everything that's come before. We see the plagues escalating, starting small, but ending with this huge final act. What does that tell us about God's power? Especially, when people defy him.
I think it shows that God's power, it's not static. It responds. Each plague, it's a consequence of Pharaoh's defiance. God's showing just how far he'll go to free his people. And it's a powerful reminder, I think, that our choices matter. They have consequences. And even the most stubborn heart, it can be reached, even if it takes extraordinary measures.
It's a powerful chapter, that's for sure. The plague, the contrast between the Egyptians and Israelites, Moses' anger, Pharaoh's stubbornness. It makes you think about disobedience, about free will, about the power of a higher purpose.
Yeah. And it makes you ask yourself, how do you respond to challenges? Do you resist, or do you open yourself to change, even when it's hard?
So here's something to think about. As we leave Exodus 11, we see there's dramatic consequences, right? Going against God's will. But does that idea still apply today? I mean, in our modern world, how do you see the balance between our own choices and, well, something bigger than ourselves? What shapes your choices? What paths do you choose to follow?